This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. The state government is defending its stance on drugs, despite a push from the Greens to talk about decriminalising substance abuse. Those at the forefront of the issue say something needs to give, but the government is more focused on its plan to create 1,000 jobs by taking over TazWater.
It's a national discussion, but it's one the Greens say they want to bring to Tasmania now.
We can't arrest our way out of this problem. We have to look at it a new way, and we want the Premier to lead that conversation.
A report from Australia 21 released last night says drug use should be considered a health issue rather than a criminal one. Community support workers agree, saying a significant amount of money is spent penalising users rather than considering it a social issue.
Doesn't mean to say that we need to stop police from convicting, high-end offenders or people who deal in lots of drugs. It just means we need to look a bit differently at Joe Blow on the street.
But the state government says there's nothing wrong with its current policies.
Look, we have no intention to change our current policy.
Meanwhile, the tug of war over the TazWater takeover continues, with the Treasurer today saying up to 1,000 jobs will be created across the state by speeding up the infrastructure process.
There'll be a program, obviously, of a range of projects right across the state over that period that are going to create jobs, some in regional and rural areas, others in cities.
Labor aren't convinced, saying other projects such as remediating the sewerage works at Macquarie Point would create the jobs without needing the takeover.
Be no better match between working people and community. So we have the funding, we have an innovative commercial structure, we know it's going to work.
Today, the local government association sent a letter to Mr Gutwin requesting a business case that justifies the takeover. The association say the government has so far taken a hostile approach. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Central Coast Councillor Shane Broad has announced he will contest the Braddon recount. The seat has been left vacant following the shock resignation of former opposition leader Brian Green. All Braddon candidates from the 2014 election are now able to put their hats back in the ring. New Labor leader Rebecca White has already offered Mr Broad, who is an agricultural scientist and a father of three, the primary industries shadow portfolio if he is successful. It's still unclear if former MP Brenton Best will contest the recount. A West Launceston man accused of murdering Bradley Wade Breward has pleaded not guilty. 41-year-old Mark Rodney Jones appearing via video link in the Launceston Magistrates Court this morning. His co-accused Ricky John Izard also pleaded not guilty to murder earlier this year. Mr Breward's body was found in a lake near Devonport in February. Jones and Izard have both been remanded in custody and will next appear in the Supreme Court on May 1. From the top of the state to the bottom, 7 men are spreading a message to speak up about mental health. But in a twist, they're doing it on foot and touching more Tasmanians than expected.
It's a step-by-step challenge to sideline the stigma surrounding mental health. 7 men, Burnie to Hobart, on foot. The brainchild of Mitch McPherson, he lost his younger brother Ty to suicide, and he's urged people to talk about their headspace ever since.
Yeah, it is that awareness, there might be people that see the logo, Google it and think that's great, and that could be what makes them get up and call the counsellor or ring a friend or a family member and say, look, I've been struggling the last couple of weeks.
The tour to TIG, named after Ty's nickname, is set to raise $30,000. It's also helping others experiencing the same heartbreak to open up. Just today, a parent whose son took his life only a week ago contacted the McPhersons for support.
And that when I heard that, it sort of hit you like like you just hit a wall.
It's a heavy topic, but Dale is the proudest father in the world, seeing this group there for each other as they promote such a pressing issue.
Of course, my late son, Ty or Tig, he travels with me the whole time.
It's physical, it's emotional, but this run is making a difference, bringing its mental health message to thousands of Tasmanians along its path.
There's a lot more cars tooting the horns and, we've got more event just about every night along the way at a footy club or a workplace.
How are you, mate? We all say that, but say it with a little bit more from in here and, you know, give it an extra minute or two, you know, just to, you sure you're all right, you know?
The team finishes in Hobart on Saturday. Tom Johnson, Southern Cross News.
The Tasmanian mum has taken to social media to help reunite her 3-year-old son with his missing baseball cap. The hat is sentimental as it was given to Braxton Peden by his dad, who tragically passed away last year.
A doting father with his young, cheerful son. This photo taken soon after Bryn Peden gave Braxton a Kings baseball cap.
It didn't fit him properly, so he just gave it to Braxton. He thought he could grow into it because he had a big head.
Unfortunately, the hat was yesterday misplaced. The family believes it was left at a Sydney airport gate before they boarded a Jetstar plane back home to Tasmania. The airline says it's doing what it can to help, but so far hasn't located it. Overnight, Katie Peden also took to social media, hoping by some miracle it can be brought back to its rightful owner. The post shared almost 3,000 times.
The reason why we want the hat back is because it's very sentimental.
Because Daddy died.
Katie's husband Bryn died suddenly in a motorbike accident on March 2nd last year.
It's all we have left of him, are all his belongings.
Was it one of your favourite hats?
Yeah, and it was black.
Some people just think, oh, it's just a hat, what are you bothering with it for? But to us, it's not just a hat anymore.
It's a special memory the family wants to have back. Monica Dadson at Southern Cross News.
A nasty collision in Latrobe has seen a car swerve off the road and into a fence. The vehicle crossed a lane of traffic on the Bass Highway after meeting a hatchback head-on. A man needing medical attention was taken to hospital. Traffic on the Bass Highway was diverted from the scene for more than an hour. One local saying the intersection is notorious for prangs. Colourful performances and storytelling have played a part in celebrating Harmony Day. People who now call Australia home shared their journey to promote understanding about why they settled in Tasmania.
It's a day that brings everybody together and for many Tasmanians a chance to have their story heard.
When we landed, I couldn't understand anything. The language, their clothes.
This workshop, held in the Long Gallery in Salamanca, saw people from all walks of life engage with one another, creating friendships as they did.
I was 13 in an orphanage. How did I keep going? School? I dreamt of going to school.
Nene is one of the founders of the group Students Against Racism, which delivers workshops such as this one today. She says it's important to share stories to break down barriers and promote mutual respect and understanding between people from diverse cultures.
That's why we are here today to share our cultures and where we come from and why we are part of Australia and why we are here.
Up the road, Elizabeth Street Mall was alive with colour and movement as shoppers were treated to a range of cultural performances.
We get to know about other countries, other cultures and other places, so music always brings people together.
This demonstration of community harmony, helping everybody feel welcome.
Promote harmony and celebrate Harmony Day.
Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Now let's take a look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to TasPlan, your local super fund. The share market has closed modestly weaker as falls by the big miners and Westpac offset gains in healthcare and retail. The ASX 200 index has dropped by 4.3 points. Short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at 77.07 US cents and 109.51 New Zealand cents. State League club Tigers have chosen Development League coach Aaron Vince as the man to lead the senior team. He'll take the reins less than 2 weeks out from round one. The decision made at a board meeting last night.
It's been a whirlwind 48 hours for Aaron Vince, who's been thrust into a senior coaching role 10 days out from the start of the State League season.
We're starting from a poor season last year, so I'm prepared with the assistance of our coaching group to move the club forward.
His connections with the Kingborough-Huon region are strong, having played with the defunct Southern Cats in 1999. Vince has been in coaching roles for the last 8 years, most recently holding the reins of the Tigers Development League team.
Look, I've been around majority of the playing group for a lot of years, so I've seen them come from junior footy all the way through to the senior footy, so I know a lot of the players.
He'll take over from Scott Matheson, who was sensationally sacked on Monday, the appointment made at a board meeting overnight.
I had the full support of all our coaching staff, and we put that towards the board for the board to vote on.
Vince says he's always had ambitions to coach at a senior level. He'll lead the team for the entire 2017 season, but says he won't implement drastic change so close to the start of the season.
We've got to realise we play a game of footy in 10 days, so we can't kind of try and reinvent the wheel in that respect.
Former Hobart Hurricanes coach Ali De Winter has been installed as Director of Coaching at the club. Tigers kick off their season against Burnie at the Twin Ovals next Saturday.
We're just 3 days out from the start of the Seabull season. The Northwest Thunder have quietly assembled a formidable lineup in the off-season and are hoping to kick-start their year with a pair of wins this weekend.
Despite a low-key season build-up, the Thunder have assembled one of the strongest starting fives in the Seabull.
We've been here for 7 weeks. We've got that chemistry. A lot of other teams have guys coming in a week or two before the season. So we've been able to practice a lot.
US imports Jeremiah Ingram and Akeem Richmond are highly regarded. So too Aussie recruits Daniel Sopokas and Chudia Powell. In a major coup, the club also luring former Collingwood and Devonport footballer Ben Richmond back to the sport.
I think he's trained really well. He's probably been our best player in the pre-season. So, things that he's learnt in footy and bringing it over to basketball, I think a few guys can really learn.
The Thunder will open their season against Kilsyth in Ulverston on Friday night, before a Saturday night blockbuster in Hobart against the Chargers. A clash Hobart coach Anthony Stewart labelled as more crucial for the Northwest Coasters than his side.
You asked me where the pressure would be, I would say it's on the Northwest firmly at this stage of the season.
But before a ball has even been bounced, Thunder skipper Brad Simpson isn't buying into the trash talk just yet.
Oh, well, look, they went further than us last year, so, we're the smaller club and they're playing in front of a big crowd, so, we'll go down there and give it all we've got.
Tip-off for Friday night's season opener is at 8 o'clock.
2 NPL Tasmania clubs were represented at a special meeting in Melbourne last night, discussing the potential formation of a national second-tier competition underneath the A-League. South Hobart and Olympia are both keen to explore the option, as is Hobart Zebras. But whether a club would enter any new league in its own right or as a combined Tasmanian team is still up in the air.
But it depends what's really the best fit for Tasmania. Without the expansion of the A-League now, obviously the NPL becomes far more important. So whether it's a standalone club or whether it's, I myself would prefer probably a combined effort, but how that works is months down the track.
Representatives from 85 NPL clubs from across Australia attended the meeting. Competition and fee structures, as well as gaining a bigger voice for the NPL clubs, were also items on the agenda.
Good evening. Hobart 17 today, Launceston the state's high 27 degrees, Burnie and Devonport 22. The forecast seemed to indicate a lot more rain today, but the best fall to 3 was just 6 millimetres on King Island, 5 millimetres at Nugent and Tasman Island. Bridport 24 degrees, Lowhead, Wynyard and Sheffield 22, Flinders Island, St Helens, Bushy Park and Strawn 21, Lyoweeney along with Friendly Beaches and Campania 20, King Island 19. Low-level cloud is around our south and east, while a large area of unorganised cloud streams across Victoria and to points to our north. That cloud containing thunderstorms is over parts of New South Wales, southeast Queensland and the top end, as it has been for some time now. A little low cloud over the Bight as well. And the cloud with the showers over the east and south today as a higher band of cloud entered from the north. Tomorrow, a high will slowly move to our west as a low tracks over the Tasman Sea. Several troughs and associated lows extend across the mainland. The monsoonal trough still active over the far north. Winds south-southeasterly at 15 to 25 knots, but up to 30 knots over the northeast. Swells rising to 3 metres. Strong wind warning current between Stanley and Wineglass Bay and for Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. Midweek for Hobart, showers easing, 18 degrees, 17 for Geeveston, Bothwell a morning shower, 17 degrees. Launceston, early showers, 21 also for Devonport with that early shower. Same for Cressy, a top of 19 degrees though. A shower or two for Burnie, 21 the top, 21 for Strawn and Curry with that same forecast. And for St Helens, rain easing, 19, 18 for Swansea. Orford, a top of 18 as well. There's the UV, high to very high. On Thursday, possible morning drizzle in the south and far northwest and later the east, mainly fine elsewhere. Fine on Friday, just the chance of some drizzle over the far northwest. Possible showers on Saturday, clearing to the northeast. An early storm in Perth, showers again for all the other centres tomorrow, with the exception of Alice Springs, 38 there. Maybe a storm for Sydney, Canberra and Darwin. And there's plenty of cloud around and just a little light rain over Hobart, 15 degrees. It's 20 degrees in Launceston, 19 in Devonport. That's the way it's shaping up for the middle of the week, Jo.
OK, thanks so much for that, Murph.